And I want to go now to the central player in so much of this, the Democratic Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal. She is chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. So I appreciate your time very much, Chair. So you have said you won't vote for the bipartisan infrastructure bill until there's a vote on the $3.5 trillion bill. But you just heard Senator Joe Manchin. He was categorical. There will not be a bill by tomorrow on that front. And he went further. He said spending trillions more on government programs when the U.S. can't pay for Social Security and Medicare now is, his words, quote, the definition of fiscal insanity. But Pelosi said this vote on the bipartisan bill is going to happen tomorrow. So what happens?
Well, Erin, thanks for having me on. Look, I have respect for every senator and every member of Congress. And what I would say is, calling the president's agenda, the Democratic agenda, insanity is not, I think, what is actually appropriate or real. The reality is we ran on this Democratic agenda. This is not some left wish list. This is the president's agenda that he 5 months ago yesterday came down Pennsylvania Avenue from the White House to Capitol Hill and laid it out. And we all stood up and cheered for it. And that's our job, is to deliver the president's agenda to his desk in its entirety. So we have, made it clear for 3.5 months that progressives are not going to leave behind women who desperately need childcare, families who desperately need paid leave, communities who desperately need action on climate change, housing, immigration. These are important parts of what we said we would deliver, what we ran on, and why voters gave us the House, the Senate, and the White House. And so if there is a vote tomorrow, and I have no idea whether there will be or not, I have a feeling that it will be delayed. But if we do have a vote, then we'll vote it down and we'll continue the negotiations so that we can actually deliver the entirety of the president's agenda, as he himself, the president himself, said he wanted us to do.
Okay, so a lot I want to ask you, but first, just in terms of, that this agenda and this is what he was elected to do. So just right now, obviously, the Senate is split 50-50 in terms of Democrats and Republicans. You've got 8-seat majority in the House. It's a very narrow margin. Progressives don't make up a majority of House seats, even among Democrats. And yet this is the progressive, this is the agenda that you obviously passionately want. Are you sure that what you want in this is really what the majority of the American people want when I actually go through those numbers?
Yeah, I mean, 96% of Democrats in the House and the Senate support the Build Back Better Act, the act that is currently being blocked by 4% of Democrats in the House and the Senate. It is also supported by 70% of the American people. Now, at the same time, Erin, I want to just say progressives have been incredibly thoughtful about how we've engaged. We understand we can't get everything. And that's why we wanted one package for exactly this reason. Actually, everything we thought would play out is playing out. We wanted one package because we didn't want roads and bridges to be pitted against childcare or paid leave and climate change. Right. But when we didn't get that, we said, OK, well, we'll make you a deal. And we were very clear about this 3.5 months ago. We will vote for the bipartisan package if you make sure that you pass the reconciliation package first. That was the deal that 11 senators put out a statement and said was a deal. Now, Senator Manchin appears to be saying that those senators,
he wasn't a party to that. Yeah,
we're not telling the truth. I don't know what I mean. They put out a statement. So obviously, there's something wrong here. Anyway, we believe that was the deal. That was what the senators were told in order to vote for the bipartisan bill. And it was faith. And then it came over to us, and we thought that was the deal. And all of a sudden, 4% say, no, we want to vote for the bipartisan bill first. And we said, sorry. No, because we've been told that there are deals too many times. We're beyond trust, Erin. We're at verify.
Right.
And we believe that at the end of the day, we'll deliver both bills to the president's desk.
So let me play again what Senator Sinema said today to a reporter when she was asked. I just want to play it again for you.
What do you say that progressives that are frustrated that they don't know where you are?
What's your response to her? I mean, as I said, it was sort of a metaphorical middle finger. It was sort of like, stop asking me. I'm physically in the Senate. Leave me alone.
You know, I couldn't hear it because I couldn't hear the clip. But I'll just say that I think everybody has been focused on the power of one or two senators, who I might just add were given that power by voters putting Democrats into the majority based on this Build Back Better agenda. But anyway, I've always said, look, everyone is Joe Manchin or Kristen Sinema in the House. We have a very thin majority in the House. And the reality is everyone's got to get on board. And that's why, Erin, there are a lot of my members who, if the infrastructure bill really was decoupled from the reconciliation bill, would just on its own merits vote against it. And what I was able to do is get every single one of our members of the Progressive Caucus to say, you know what, we get that we're not going to get everything we want. And so we will vote for that as long as we get the infrastructure bill. And you people who don't like as long as we get the reconciliation bill. And you people who don't like the reconciliation bill, you might have to do some things you don't like too, because we're all part of the Democratic team. And that's what I still believe. And that's why I think ultimately we're going to get it done. But, we're going to have some hiccups along the way, and it might have to go down tomorrow. And that's okay. We'll do that, and then we'll continue to negotiate.
And you don't think that sends a message to the American people that the one thing that was bipartisan with 19 Republican senators voting for it, that was actually bipartisan, that the Progressive Caucus just killed, is a problem?
Well, let me just be clear. It's not the Progressive Caucus that killed it. It's the 4% that doesn't support the reconciliation bill and isn't sticking to the agreements that they made. Now, I still believe, Erin, that we're not going to have a vote tomorrow, or, there'll be, Nancy Pelosi herself said on Sunday, and I have watched her with tremendous admiration, she never brings something to the floor that she doesn't think is going to pass. So let's see how tomorrow plays out. All I'm saying is that we are in the game for good. We're here to deliver to the American people the entirety of the Build Back Better agenda, and we're not going to stop. Somebody asked me today if I was losing patience with some of my colleagues, and I said never. We're in Congress to deliver real, tangible results to the American people, and we're going to fight for that the whole way to the end.
All right, Congresswoman Jayapal, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin.